21 and 45. Those are the two most recent numbers of those killed by the terrorist group of ISIS. This is a dangerous group, and we do need to know more about them if we're going to stop them. So who are they? Well, they're a Muslim extremist group. What I mean by this is they were once a subgroup of Al-Qaeda, and even Al-Qaeda disavowed them for being too radical. The terrorist group that took down the Twin Towers declared this group as too radical. That's pretty intense. So in February of last year, they separated. However, they took with them the same beliefs that they had with Al-Qaeda. It's believed that they have 20,000 to 31,500 fighters with them right now. Now, as far as their name goes, while they were still under Al-Qaeda, NBC News tells us that they were known as the Islamic State of Iraq. However, whenever they left, they came to be known as the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, or ISIL, and then Islamic State of Iraq in Al-Sham, and then Islamic State of Iraq in Syria, or ISIS. However, most politicians will still refer to them as ISIL. Now, these are some of the faces of ISIS. Shakir Wahidi, this is the old face of ISIS. It is believed that he has been killed in a firefight. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, this is their leader. He has been off the grid for a couple of months now, and we are continuously searching for him. And that man on the far right over there is Omar al-Shashini. He is believed to be the new face of ISIS to replace Shakir Wahidi. Now, where are they? Right, so they're over in Iraq and Syria, and these are some of the towns that they have complete control of and that they're contesting. Contesting is in red, control is in black. However, it has also been rumored that they are starting to come up from Mexico into the U.S. So what do? Well, they rape, they pillage, they murder, behead, bomb, terrorize, and they raid prisons. And they'll actually gain a lot of members from prisons that they have liberated. That's where they gain a lot of those members. Now we talked about how they behead, and that is something that they like to do publicly to strike fear into other people. These two people, James Foley and Stephen Sothoff, were both American journalists over in this area. Unfortunately, they were captured by ISIS, and they were publicly beheaded on live television. Now we'll talk about how they terrorize. Well, how are they doing that? Well, according to a website, there's this chart that says between the 29th of July and the 4th of August of last year, 54% of their attacks were pure shootings. 12% were against Israeli Defense Forces. 25% were IEDs, or improvised explosive devices. And 4% were vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices. Now, why are they doing all of this? I mean, what is the point? Well, Baghdadi wants to bring back the caliphate. The caliphate is a dictatorship where you have one leader who is a descendant of Muhammad who rules over the Muslim people, and all Muslims must pledge their allegiance to the caliph, the leader of the caliphate. And Baghdadi claims to be a descendant of Muhammad. However, there is also a religious conflict between the Sunnis and the Shiites. So what are we going to do about this? What are we doing about this? Task Force Black is something that we are doing. This is a group of elite fighting forces that was put together by the U.S. and the UN, and includes members like SAS, SEAL Team 6, the Marines, and several other units that are being pushed towards finding lead ISIS members and cutting off the head of the snake, so they call it. And as of last year, we have started to bomb ISIS openly. And this has been continuing, and we have been continuing to do it all the way through now. We are still doing it. And this is what we are doing to combat the infection known as ISIS.
Questions?
Yes.
Okay, well, I saw a interview with, what is her name, Kayla, the one that got killed over there, that supposedly ISIS had, the young girl. And the parents made it sound like she was being held and she was being cared for and things weren't all that bad, they just wanted some ransom. What's your take on that?
I actually do believe, and there's another slide that I had to cut out for time, but it says how they're funded, and they do ransoms a lot for funding. And I believe that they would have done that. I've seen some documentaries about their side of it, and they believe that they're just freeing their people from an unjust rule. So they really don't think they're doing any wrong. And so I don't think they want to be killing all the people. They do want to be killing some of the people, but I don't think they want to be killing all these people, like the children and people like that. But with some of these circumstances that come up, they have to do something, and they choose wrong. Any other questions? Sharon?
You said they were rumored to be coming from Mexico.
Yes.
Do you believe that rumor, and what are your thoughts about that?
I believe it's very possible that they could be doing that, because I mean, we have immigrants coming over all the time. Why couldn't some of them be ISIS members? I believe, we wouldn't see immediately see effects of ISIS here in America, but if they were planning for something big, like a bombing of some place or an attack on the White House or something, then I believe they would be slowly infiltrating small numbers of people.
Do you think that our troops going over there could break into all?
Definitely. And we do have a lot of conflict over there right now. It's a very hot topic, a lot of fighting, and a very controversial subject. But I do believe that it could potentially become a huge war.
My question is, do you believe that we'll be able to defeat them through the air, or do you think we'll have to put boots on the ground?
I believe we will have to put boots on the ground, and we do have boots on the ground over there.
Combat. Do you think we'll have to go on combat again to get this?
Combat? Yes, I think we are, because with Al Qaeda, we were bombing them, but they would hide in the mountains, and you can level a whole mountain, but it costs a lot of money. And so it is much easier to get boots in the ground and go and just do what your soldiers are there for. Have them do what they're there for. And we do have boots on the ground over there combating them right now. We're cooperating with some of the operatives over there from Iraq and Syria, and we're training them to help us fight and get us intel on them so that we can combat them a little better.
So your estimate, or the estimate that you read about, was the amount of troops they had was 20,000 to 31,500. If this were to break out into an all-out war, what allies could they possibly have? Because that's not that many. When it comes down to it, it's really not that many.
Right. And
Compared to what forces the United States and allies could supply.
Right. And I personally believe that number is probably a little small for what they actually have. That's just a statistic that I can find. However, I do believe they have much more fighters. And if they do bring back the caliphate, then Baghdadi is going to have that pull of you have to pledge allegiance to the Muslim, to the caliph, and do whatever he says. And so I believe that is where they're going to pull.
So you believe they could have forced subscription in their army?
Pretty much.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
Yes.
I've been hearing news reports about them recruiting a lot of people that are staying in different countries, like that are staying in Europe, staying in France, staying here in the United States, staying in Canada, not just trying to cross the border. Did you see that in your research, that they are actually actively recruiting people who are already citizens of countries?
Yes, I did. I apologize for not mentioning that here, but I did see that they are in Europe a little bit, they're in China a little bit, they're in a lot of different places. They're not just in these areas. They are all over the world.
one more point of that question. So I know you said the task force black and we're voting ISIS, but what measures are we taking to track the citizens that they're trying to recruit? I guess is the question. Like, do we have an active plan in place to address that part of the issue?
Really, if they're gonna recruit citizens, and it's on the citizens to say no, we don't have really any way of saying, okay, well, they're gonna scope out these people, and they're gonna try and get these people to join their cause. We have no way of really saying that. We could probably limit it a little bit to, okay, they want strong, younger people who know how to operate weapons. So we can focus a little more towards that group and telling them how bad of a group ISIS is. But really, we have no way of regulating who joins and who doesn't.
It's scary.
Well, that's exactly what NSA surveillance would be for, right? I mean, yeah, searching emails, searching mail, stuff like that, some videos.
Right. And
That's what they're looking for.
yeah, and we can do some of that. We can look through your email. We can not we, but they can look through your email. I'm not a part of that group.
Shh, they can hear you.
Does use yeah, but they can do that. They can search through all that stuff. But in the end, if you wanted to be a part of that, you don't have to reply to the email. You just have to kind of make it up in your mind. Okay, well, they're doing this, so how can I do that? It's like that with almost all things. If someone's doing good somewhere, you don't have to, and you see that they're doing good somewhere, helping the poor, then you don't have to receive an email or sign up for something like that. You just have to kind of say, all right, well, I'm going to go and help the poor now. Same terrorist groups, and they see, all right, well, they're killing Christians because that's the faith. Well, how can I do that here? It's really difficult in figuring out how these people are selected.
All right, let's give him a warm round of